When you forge a weapon, you need three things. The right metal, temperatures over 1400 degrees, and someone who wants to kill. Here in Jungle Village, we got all three.
All right, the nigga with the big metal hands. That was a working title for that. Somebody said it'd be bad for marketing. I don't know.
Really? I thought it was the man who can't act.
All I know is that this movie ain't nothing to fuck with.
Okay, man, let me say something. Now, this is the highly anticipated directorial debut of the RZA.
Okay. Before we get into anything, there's something I need explained to me before we can even jump into this review.
Yes.
Because, I mean, as someone who, makes money as a professional voice actor and studied many languages and dialects, how the hell is RZA pronounced the RZA? Break that down for me.
RZA. Just pronounce it phonetically. RZA.
What about the?
Well, the is implied.
Yeah.
Because
It's not
nobody
silent.
else would do it.
The is silent. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's French. But
Le RZA.
No. Look, everybody knows that the RZA is.
I don't think everybody knows.
You don't. I forgot. You, if it ain't bebop or the old Negro spiritual, you don't know what it is.
If it started the Supremes, maybe we'd have more luck.
Robert Fitzgerald Diggs is his real name.
Oh,
Rapper
okay.
from New York. Grew up absolutely loving Shaw Brothers movies, Hong Kong films.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah, but this guy, he studied this stuff. I mean, seriously, hence the Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay.
It came in from their love of, mainly his love of Hong Kong movies. And when Quentin Tarantino, so the Wu-Tang Clan takes off. I mean, this guy he's in interviews talking about how he loves these movies. I think one of his favorite movies is 36 Chambers of Shaolin and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, and you know.
I know.
So
I know.
but this guy, he would, if he could go out and actually fight crime as being a kung fu master, he would. And so Wu-Tang Clan takes off. They're highly successful. Then people are seeking this guy out to do all kind of music for them. I mean, have you ever seen Ghost Dog?
Yes.
Jim Jarmusch's Ghost Dog.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
I think RZA did some music.
I want to say RZA
he did a lot of the music for that, actually.
I want to say he also worked on the last Blade movie.
Did he?
I think he did. Yeah.
But one of the things that I thought was pretty cool about him is that when Tarantino tapped him to do the music for Kill Bill, he financed himself to go over to China and study how Quentin Tarantino shot and directed. Now, I don't think he learned a fucking thing from that, but I actually.
But he now knows what a camera is.
Yeah, no. I'm saying this to be funny because
He went to China to study with a master. Like, his life is imitating the plot of one of his favorite movies.
Yeah. No, I'm actually I'm joking here because you're going to be surprised at what I have to say about this movie. But he directs a short film and then says, all right, I'm going to direct my own version of these movies that I love. And he got Quentin Tarantino come in and put his name on it, just, as a selling point. Eli Roth helped him out with the script, what script they is. And so this is what we have here. And say what you will about this movie. The difference between something that we say is terrible, but you might have some fun out of it, like, I don't know, Resident Evil. Looking at this, you might not have a good movie, but there's a movie where this guy pours everything he loves into it, and you can see it. And I admire that. I even found this movie enjoyable in some parts because of that.
I can sort of agree with you with the fact that you can tell this guy has his heart in the right place. He obviously has a passion for Shaw Brothers. He wears it on his sleeves. He puts it in his music. He tells you in the interviews. But the thing is, the guy has a talent, and it's one talent. He can rap. And when you watch this movie, you're like, he can't act. The guy can't act.
No.
And that's where the movie really, really fails. But not so much that, also some of the writing. Because, I mean, I don't want to blame it all on him, because him and Eli Roth both had a big deal in this movie. They've been trying to make this movie since like 2005. And Eli Roth actually came in and directed some of it, uncredited.
Really? He did?
Yeah. He actually did. So, I mean, this movie was originally a 4-hour movie. So much.
The fuck?
This movie was a 4-hour movie that RZA insisted that he was like, maybe we should make it into 2 movies. We'll make each movie 2 hours long. Eli Roth told him no. And apparently during the editing, RZA took off pissed. So the cut of this movie is Eli Roth's cut of it because that's what the studios wanted.
Goddamn right.
Yeah.
4 hours.
Yeah.
You got to train to watch that shit.
I know.
You got to get like your zen together, y'all, for your attention span to watch that kind of shit. Look,
You need to meditate like a fucking monk
Every
to watch
9
this shit.
chambers of the Shaolin get their own hour. Dude. Do the fucking math,
that was
guys.
originally 9 hours long.
So knowing that information, I can't help but see like this mess of a movie. When you see the 96 minutes, you feel like, wow, why do I not have a single idea what the fuck is going on with this plot, these characters, any kind of story arc? I don't know. I don't know where the fuck it's going.
I don't know. I mean, it's weird because I felt that, and yet when I backed off, I'm like, it's very simple. It's too simple. I'm curious about something you said because you was like saying how some of the writing wasn't that good, but what was the writing part that was good? Because I completely missed
better
that.
question is, what was the writing?
Yeah, where was the writing?
Period.
You cynical asshole.
Now, see, Brian.
Shame on you, ninjas.
Brian, okay, you know what? Okay, let me attempt to just try to explain because really it doesn't fucking matter.
No,
what
it doesn't.
Yeah.
The emperor is bringing in some gold. Every clan in this village, the jungle village, which is a fucked up village to be in, it's the ghetto of
Yeah,
Asia.
it is.
and every clan is coming in to take this gold. And in the middle, there are clashes of families, of clans. People are killing their relatives to rise up in the ranks and take over their clans. I mean, you have British people coming in from other countries to get in on this gold. I mean, all it is an excuse for people to fly through the air and beat the shit out of each other.
Right.
That's all it is. And that's why I'm saying the story is second place. The man with the iron fist is actually this enigmatic black dude in the middle of this village. You're like wondering in the beginning of the movie, what the hell is this Negro doing in this village? And better yet, how come nobody's asking that same question throughout this whole movie? But they explain in the movie. But
Because he's the blacksmith.
I found offensive.
he is the blackest of Smiths.
That's the thing. When I'm saying,
the only blacksmith.
Yeah.
what do you think of that, Blackie? He's like, what? Because I'm black? No, because
you're
you
the
made these
blacksmith.
weapons. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, no, the RZA plays the title character, the man with the iron fist. And if you watch the movie, you'll see why. I'm not telling any reason why here. I think you can see it in a trailer too if you like. But yeah, he's kind of the centerpiece that all these clans go to make their weapons. And of course, he soon gets involved in all this. And something bad is going to happen to him because he's like a cop who is about to go on retirement. And he says, hey, you know what? I just got one more day before I retire. But he says, I just have to get a few more gold coins and then I can get the hell out of here with my wife.
Then I can go to the castle and defeat Koopa. And
I can get my girlfriend who works at the brothel and we can get the fuck out of here.
I just bought her a ring, by the way.
here's a photograph of her.
and I will say this. Yeah, the acting is bad on all parts. The dialogue is terrible.
My name is Mr. Knife. You may call me Jack.
And I mean, fuck, man, you look at something like the Kung Fu Panda's more realistic than this.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
In fact, speaking of fucking pandas, somebody who's as big as a panda, Russell Crowe. You even wonder what is he doing here?
He's there to enjoy all the Chinese buffets.
Of course. I think every time that twirling mustache, I think there was a couple of noodles that were left on his top.
There should have been an asterisk next to all you can eat at that buffet.
Yeah. If you notice, even when he says the lines, he's like, I'm right now.
It's especially funny when he's making fun of a fat guy in there. Oh, my stout fellow. I'm like, is there no mirrors in this place?
Yeah.
Well, I like that I like that he watched Cloud Atlas, so he was like, hey, everybody's doing this new Chinese eyes thing, so why don't I?
Yeah,
and he ends up
right.
looking like Eric Cartman and when he tried to be Chinese.
Well, he
Oh, hello, Paris.
Yeah, well, he was a British guy that came in from Britain. Yeah, he wasn't playing a Chinese guy.
Oh, no.
There's one point when he puts on makeup to try to look Chinese and fit in.
Yeah, he's
and I was like,
wearing
wow.
the rice hat.
Oh, he puts on, yeah.
No,
yeah.
that took me back to Sean Connery and You Only Live Twice.
I even think he said, Hassel.
Where are your buffet, pre?
You forgot my ring roll. But no,
You skinny man.
Why does my fortune cookie just say diabetes? I don't understand.
no, that's your fucking doctor's report. But what I will say is that this movie, I think, has incredible production. Whoever came in and did the artistic direction on this and who did the cinematography, one thing you can say, the movie looks damn good. And for the most part, as silly as it is, I enjoyed that silliness. I did. I had fun. It's for somebody who loves these kind of movies. You see it in everything that they've done, from the set decoration to the fight scenes, which I thought were done amazingly well.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You know what? I mean,
Maybe amazing is a lot.
I've been disagreeing with a lot of what you said, but I'm like, all right, that's your opinion. But the fight scenes, all those quick cuts, I'm like, yeah, there might have been some good choreography going on there, but it was cut up so badly.
You couldn't tell what was terrible going on. Movies over here.
And now you like a terrible movie.
Okay.
Fight.
Yes, I do. I don't know why. As if you're browbeating your big eyes is supposed to make me like, oh, can I change my mind? No, I like this. I like this.
I'm
movie.
giving my opinion, and you trying to cut in, going like, oh, you like other terrible movies. Okay, I like movies you don't like.
When you really don't like something, when somebody says they don't like, you come in like, what? And I'm like, hey man, I'm not you. I enjoyed this.
I never wanted you to be me.
Okay, well, let me be referee here. Okay, Corey, explain to me what you liked. Well, did you already sort of explain?
Am I going to have to just go back and repeat myself?
I know. So we can all understand.
We do post these recordings afterwards. You can listen to this tomorrow.
You can just rewind that shit.
You're right. Maybe amazingly well is a strong word, because one of the things that I did not like is RZA as a director. He lacks very much in that. I don't know. He made mistakes that I don't even pay attention to sometimes. But there are a few scenes where his staging is bad. Man, there are certain parts.
I know exactly the scene you're talking about. It's a basic 3-shot. And for some reason, the characters having the conversation are pushed as far to the edges of the screen as possible.
Yes!
And you're looking out a window. You're like, okay, something's going to come through that window. So there's nothing coming through that. That window is useless.
His
why
framing
is it in the middle of the shot?
His framing is fucking terrible in a lot of scenes. I think there are points where the cinematographer came in and just said, hey man, just let me point and shoot. Okay,
let me do my job.
But you're right. There's certain people. You know how you see certain movies when they're meant to be letterboxed? And you see them in TV format, and they've pushed certain characters where you see only half the bodies in the screen. Right. Like, looking at this, and I'm saying, that's so basic. How can you not see that? And there's another scene where he comes in, and he's pointing at something, and his hands go out the shot.
Yeah. This movie is going to need a lot of pan and scan whenever they decide to put them at that format. And that's what kind of made me wonder, like, okay, reading that Eli Roth actually had to come in and direct some of this, it actually made me wonder, like, how much of this production, like, did they have to look at and go, okay, look, this is not really working. Yeah, this is really bad. I mean, this is going to be out in theaters. We need to go and do some reshoots. And, you really do get a sense of that watching the movies. But, I mean, you said, Leon, that you hated the fight scenes, and I have to agree. There are some fight scenes in there that I just thought were really poorly done. But towards the end, I don't know if they went and got an action director to actually come in, because I know sometimes these fight scenes get done by totally different action directors,
right?
That come in and do the unit shooting. So I was surprised by some of the fight scenes towards the end. Seemed to blow away everything that we saw before. But I'm saying that in the nicest way. There is still a lot of bad cuts, and I think it had to do more with the heavy editing that they did, more so than with the fight scenes. Because I think when they actually had two people, they were like, okay, we can depend on these guys to do martial arts, but we're too dependent on them, and I think that sometimes shows.
Brian, what do you think?
This is me getting a word in edgewise. I don't know. I think the question we have to ask ourselves is, knowing what RZA's interests are, how much of this, and having seen a lot of these movies, how much of this is bad on purpose? And I know that's a cop-out in a lot of ways, but I really do think there's so much tongue-in-cheek, so many kind of nods going on to the not the greatest. I mean, we're not talking about the great. There are nods to things like Enter the Dragon, and there are nods to the greats of martial arts cinema. But there's also nods to the really shitty ones that you would rent at the video store. You couldn't even read the box when you pulled the VHS. Like, it's in Chinese, but the people on the front are jumping, so I'll rent it and I'll watch it. And it's like, yeah, I mean, there's bad wire fighting in those movies. The framing shit that is in those movies. And I'm not saying that every mistake in this movie can be forgiven as a reference. But what I am saying is that I think a lot of the problems with this movie come from a guy who loves this genre so much and is trying to basically be the Quentin Tarantino of the VHS era, Shaw Brothers stuff that was imported, and it doesn't always work because he's not the same caliber of filmmaker. However, I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I was having a blast with it, and I didn't think the fight scenes were especially bad, mostly because I've seen enough Hollywood movies that use far more cuts and far more edits and look like they're edited on a goddamn sewing machine. It drives me up the fucking wall. And I don't know. I think that a lot of the things that you guys are talking about, not all, but a lot of them are intentional.
Yeah, and I got that too. I got that a lot of this stuff, as you say, is very tongue in cheek, which is why I can actually forgive some of the silliness in this. I'm looking at it like I look at a lot of things like it's a live action anime. It's that blend of hip hop in martial arts that people are loving so much when they see things like Samurai Champloo and Afro Samurai, which the RZA did some music for too. It's a movie that's done with love and doesn't take itself so seriously. Watching this at midnight, I'm thinking that this is a perfect midnight movie.
Absolutely it is. And I love the way that certain actors in this movie, there are actors that are just like, okay, you're really bad, I'm sorry. But then there are other actors who are just having so much fun chewing the scenery like it's bubblegum. Like Russell Crowe in this movie, playing like Clint Eastwood from London, so like Clint East End, I guess, is just like loving every second that he's on screen and just being like this terrible fat James Bond knockoff. And the main villain who kind of looks like David Bowie in Labyrinth.
Yeah, he was part of the Tina Turner clan.
Yes, exactly.
Where they all had the big glam rock feathered hair. Yeah,
Yeah, the Bad Hair Day clan.
Yeah,
Like, what's a comb got to do with it? Apparently nothing.
Put on his Dr. Seuss wig and join our gang.
Which is
It reminded me of the Feral Kid in Road Warrior.
Yes.
I'm like, wow, they all took his hairstyling.
And you have all these characters who are so larger than life, and you have that great martial arts movie gimmick where every character has an epic sounding name. Oh, the 20 rodents, or the what were they? The Gemini killers.
And
It's like,
Byron Mann, that's the guy you're thinking of, the leader, the
Byron.
the Lion Clan.
Yes.
Yeah, the guy.
Byron.
Yeah, the guy that was coming in. He was pretty much he was gay.
Yeah.
Well, I heard you looking for gold.
There was literally a point where he comes in like Sulu's like, oh my.
His eyes were all bugging out. He's looking like Rick James half the time.
And yeah, it's silly and it's way over the top, but I think once it reaches a certain point, it passes that threshold and you realize, okay, this is a completely different kind of movie. And I think on that level, it did a lot of the things that it wanted to do and it did them well. But if you step back and look at it from a pure like film school textbook level, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of shit in this movie, but there's also a lot of shit in the movies that I love to watch that this movie is based on.
And you know what? I really wish I could be on your page with that. I love those Shaw Brother movies. I studied the hell out of them because I love them that much. I love picking those movies apart. I love seeing the fight scenes. Yet when I watch those movies, there's something about the storytelling that seems really honest. Those guys never went out with the intentions of making bad films. Especially when you get down to the simple stories like they did. This seemed like it was being a little too overambitious. And I mean, sure, I can forgive some of the dialogue because I can tell when there's parts where I'm like, okay, they're kind of making fun of this certain cliche, or they're having this character say something because that's something you're so used to. Yet I feel like, I would sound like those people trying to make apologies for those Expendables movies.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, look, I mean, it's easy to go, look, hey, they're doing that for jokes and laughs. They're making crappy movies because the movies that we saw, come on, they were kind of crappy. I can't really give this movie that kind of credit.
But I disagree that
I just don't see it. I think I see it more as incompetent filmmaking more than anything. I mean, because the guy has a lot of people he can get help from to really make this what it should be.
Right, but then it's not his movie anymore.
Well,
that's the thing, I think this is such a labor of love that it's like, yes, the guy probably shouldn't be directing the movie. No, he's not a good actor, but it's like, that's the whole point of his movies. He wants to make the kind of movies that he loved, and it's like, if we sit there and say, well, he should have gotten help from this person, that person, it's like, but he wanted to make his movie. And whether you like it or not, for better or worse, this is RZA's movie.
Honestly, it's not.
And I think he's completely sincere about it.
It's not.
But by that token, if he doesn't want to get the help to do it right, then he can make his movie and show it to him and his friends, but not put it out in the theater and say, hey, come pay $10 to watch what I did.
But then there's people who do want to pay $10 to see this and who will enjoy it. So why are we here to tell him that he shouldn't release this out here because of one person's opinion?
But don't get me wrong. I know there's people out there that are going to enjoy it. Like I said, I enjoyed some of it. There was some of it that I enjoyed. But is it something that I'm going to go back to and watch over and over again? No, not at all.
Well, what movies do we really go back and watch over and over again?
I watch a lot of them over and over again.
And again, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's this is all based on our opinions of this, and you know, we're trying to speak for other people out there when I think we should speak for people who might actually enjoy this, and tell the people who won't, because there are going to be people who are going to see this as a terrible movie, no doubt. And I have no argument with them at all. I never do, but I know that from watching several movies that I do see, I can't come down on it as hard when I see movies that actually get praised. This movie does something better than those films. And when you talk about the fight scenes, we see plenty of fight scenes in movies where those movies are filmed up close. I mean, Jesus Christ, we talk about one of the biggest complaints that people have with The Dark Knight Rises is that even though Batman is doing a form of martial arts and fist to fist hand fighting, I mean, it's a lot of those fight scenes were shot up close and not very well.
Well, we complained about that.
Yeah, we did.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, I complained about that.
Yeah.
In the Dark Knight, but here I feel like the fight scenes were done exceptionally well. And like I said, I'm not trying to get anybody to go see this movie. I just know that I went to see it. I thought, man, I'm enjoying this probably more than I should. and if I had paid to go see this, I probably would not be upset about it. And I'm like you, I'm not going to watch it again, unless it's on TV or something. No, because I don't love it, but I think it does a lot of things well based upon just somebody's genuine love for this. And I'm not giving him a pass for that either. I'm just saying that there's a lot of these things that I think are done right is done by somebody who actually did their homework.
You know, just where I'm coming from, why I love these movies so much is that usually you have a central character that you really understand. A lot of these stories are revenge, so you understand their goals with these movies. With RZA's character, he's supposedly supposed to be the center point. You get no real backstory until like towards the end about who he is, what he's about. And there was just nobody for me in this movie to grasp onto. Sure, I can love the fight scenes, but even if it was just great fight scenes, I would have no motivation to get behind these characters because I know absolutely nothing about them. That's my biggest problem with
it felt really unfocused as to who the central character was. I mean, I know it's him because of his name, but it's, you know, later on where that happens, and it was focusing on all these other people, and I say, it's his story, and I was like, why is Russell Crowe in this movie? Like, not just his character, which I couldn't really figure out why he was there, but even Russell Crowe himself, I'm like, this, I don't even understand why he's in this. None of this feels organic. It's like a bunch of pieces stuck together.
Well, let me ask you something. And I'm not using this to even go against you.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm asking because you recently saw Resident Evil, whatever the fuck, 5, right?
Yeah.
And you liked it and you gave it a matinee. Did you give a shit about anybody in that movie?
Not so much.
None. Come on, man. Let's go for it. Nobody gave a shit about any of those characters in that movie.
I mean, yeah.
But you enjoyed it because there was a fight scene in that you liked, or it had some cool special effect. And I wasn't looking at this movie for any kind of story. I mean, I knew what I was getting into. I'm not looking at this for any kind of deep story at all. I'm not looking at this for character. I watched it because I was looking at it for goofy fun.
And there was, and you're saying something right there, because there was something about that movie that just made me latch onto it. And it was because of maybe how ridiculous this was, but I didn't think this was going for outrageous, ridiculous, let's just have shit just happen for no reason.
So when Dave Bautista walks in and his body turns to bronze whenever he gets hit, you're not expecting anything ridiculous from that.
I didn't. That was cool.
That was a cool effect.
And I like that.
I wanted way more of that. I was like, you know what? Show more of this craziness, But there was, it was too far in between. A lot of these action scenes, when they do happen, there's moments in the movie where it's like, okay, let's get to another action piece, please.
Brian, you shaking your head?
No, I didn't have any of that experience. I thought the movie moved really well. See, that's the thing is, I'm not trying to give the RZA a participation trophy here. Like, I'm not going to make excuses for him.
Because that is what it sounded like. You're like, come on, guys. He showed up. He made the movie like he wanted to.
The bottom line here is that I enjoyed the shit out of this movie. Legitimately, I had a great time with it. There were, I think, there's a lot of really cool classic kung fu visuals in it. I kind of dig the story. I kind of dig the fact that they bring in sort of a 5 deadly venoms, except it's 3 of them and they're from completely different countries. There's so much about it to like, and I think what the RZA was trying to do, I think he did it well. And yes, the movie has problems. I'm not going to say it doesn't have problems, but I do appreciate that somebody with this level of love and this level of knowledge of a particular subject is able to kind of express that in a very creative way, and I enjoyed it for what it was. I didn't enjoy it because of who made it. I enjoyed it for what I saw on the screen. If I hadn't had a good time with it, then yeah, obviously it would be like, okay, well, forget that.
And we
But-
said that. We didn't say that we liked it because we enjoyed it. In fact, I think I said that I'm not giving this guy a pass. I enjoyed the goofiness of it. I did enjoy the fight scenes. I enjoyed the cartoonish live action anime side of it. I mean, if you took his name off of it, if the Gizza directed this, the Jizza,
if Ghostface Killer directed this,
yeah, I mean, I would have looked at this and said, now maybe if this had come from somebody who was more of an accomplished director, I would probably take points off because there's mistakes here that person should know better for.
Like Old Dirty Bastard?
If Old Dirty Bastard. No, I think
Too soon. He's an accomplished director.
I think I would love this if Old Dirty Bastard had directed
Believe me,
this.
I would have given it Better Than Sex just for that, and I would let you know. I would tell you, yeah.
We would have during the opening credits. We would have gotten to his limo and rode with him to get his welfare check.
To get his welfare check and his movie.
No,
yeah.
guys, I'm not arguing with. I'm not, and I'm not even trying to convince you here. I know where you're coming from. There's enough in here where if you look at the bad stuff and that irritates you, I totally get it because that could actually make some people not like this movie. The stuff that normally would irritate me that I'd see, it was really pushed aside by the fun time that I was having with this. I give it a low matinee, keeping in mind that you have to kind of be that person. I almost recommend this to people that I don't like. You have to be that kind of person where you do love that Kish, or you're that person that loves a throwback to the retro stuff, or you talk about Grindhouse. I tell you what,
It sounds like you're saying you got to be Brian Salisbury. Somebody you don't
man,
like.
I'm the only one apparently having fun in this fucking theater. So
Brian, now why you putting me out like that, man?
because cynicism rules everything around me. That's why.
You betrayed me, brother. Why?
Real sorry, but you're gonna have to
For gold, dear boy, for gold.
No, this is you do have a chubby.
No, come on. Finish that sentence. I will go Russell Crowe and throw this fucking phone at
Keep
you.
on digging. Keep on digging.
Yeah, you do have a present Russell Crowe.
I will be master of the flying cell phone here in about 5 seconds.
No. I agree with you more than you think. I was going to say, when I complained about Grindhouse, if this had been Grindhouse, I would have liked Grindhouse a whole lot more. So for those people who are fans of that kind of thing, this will work for you. Anybody else, I can't really tell you. I
can
know
give
where
you
I'm
that.
coming from.
I can give you that. You saying that, I can give you that. If this were, anything that makes fucking Death Proof look like a slow moving bullshit fest, yes.
This is all personal for me. Low matinee.
Okay. Well, I mean, clearly, I don't feel the same. Matter of fact, I think about when you talked about Cloud Atlas and you described it as a disaster, I kind of bristled because I was like, no, I mean, maybe it's not all working for you, but a disaster that's a big word. But when I watched this, I was like, okay, now this is a disaster because it's all these pieces coming together that just aren't fitting. And I kept trying to meet it on some level. I'm like, all right, the script is horrible. I mean, it felt like I'm watching a live action version of Dragon Ball Z. But you know what? That's okay. Maybe it's trying to be goofy and bad on purpose. And I was like, well, yeah, but it's not doing it consistently. There's times where I can see like it really is taking itself seriously and failing at that. I was like, okay, well, fine. I'll just love it for the fight scenes and effects. Okay, the gold body guy, I mean, bronze body was cool, but the fight scenes, they were just shot in such a way that I was like, wow, I can't even enjoy these. It's just kind of splatterpunk for the sake of it, but not really well done. I wanted to have some kind of enjoyment out of it, and it just wasn't happening. It felt like it felt more like incompetent filmmaking than it's anything that was planned. And I mean, bless the RZA for following his passion and all. But when it comes down to it, when somebody remakes, like does these tributes to these old movies that we all know are bad, but we loved them. I feel like, okay, if you're going to go in here and do this with this money, with this budget, you should be doing something better. I shouldn't watch and go like, hey, it's just like those. It's like, yeah, I lived through those. I'd like to see something better. And I don't really have a dog in this fight in as much as like, oh, I love this guy and I'm attached to this and I'm all about nostalgia. I'm just a guy coming in to watch a movie. And for me, as much as I try from every angle, I just couldn't enjoy it really much at all. For me, it was some old bullshit.
I don't know. I don't feel like nostalgia made me any less objective. I enjoyed the movie for what it was. Like I said, I keep saying this. Yes, I recognize it has problems, but to me, the spirit of what they were going for just it superseded all of the nitpicks and even all of the bigger problems. And I feel like I feel like what they were going for, they accomplished well, and I had fun with it. The fight scenes, all the wire work, I thought was great. I actually thought the story was really streamlined. I don't think the script in terms of the story is bad. I think there's dialogue that doesn't work for these particular actors. And I think even some of that dialogue, maybe the reason I was able to forgive some of the dialogue is because I remember, watching bad subtitle translations of what the characters in Shaw Brothers movies were trying to say, and it's like that's not even grammatically correct in any language. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of fondness there, but yes. I can recognize this is bad, and like Corey said, it's hard to recommend this to mainstream audiences. But if you're the kind of person that kind of enjoys throwbacks and enjoys kind of going to these midnight movies and having a good time, I think this is a great movie for that. So I'll give it a matinee.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, I mean, I love these type of movies, and I love nostalgic. When somebody wants to do something nostalgic, like bring these movies, especially like Tarantino trying to do it with Grindhouse and Rodriguez and those guys, I appreciate people are still trying to do that, but sometimes I think they missed the mark. This is one of those films where, once again, for me at least, it's missed that mark. I get what they were trying to do, and I have nothing but praise. I'm glad that they're actually doing it. Yet, I can't help but notice the big flaws about it. With those older movies, I have an investment in them. This one, not so much. And maybe that's just me. But I definitely think some people are going to enjoy this for what it is. Me personally, it just wasn't happening. I think the RZA made a Bruce Lee movie instead of a Shaw Brothers movie, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not going to try to pretend that those flaws aren't there. But there's moments where it was fun, so I'm going to give it a rental.
All right. I would say Lucy Liu, out of all the people in the movie, I think she was actually bad.
But once again, it's
she
like
had really terrible dialogue too.
Yeah, it's like that, and it's
it.
hard. It's hard to like go, because I mean, really, I wanted to say Russell Crowe was at his worst I think I've ever seen him act in a film. But
you haven't seen the movie he did with Denzel Washington, then?
What was it called?
Something Osity.
Right.
Virtuosity.
I was about to say Fattosity.
I have not seen that movie.
No. Well, you know what? I think there is one thing that we can agree on in this movie that we all saw. Pam Grier got fat.
Oh, was that really her?
Yeah,
Pam Grier, yeah.
I was really she's an old woman now.
I thought Pam Grier was in a fat suit.
Oh, damn. Well, oh, man.
I'm still terrified of Pam Grier, so I'm going to not say
I
that.
don't want to touch that.
She's in her 70s now.
Yeah, she's scared of that.
She should be in her late 60s at least.
Okay. I just saw Mars Attacks.
And she will kick
You
your
just saw Mars Attacks. That was 20 years ago.
I didn't know. 20? Goddamn.
I know. Stop laughing. Because after tonight, when we see each other again, we should be enemies, brothers. Yes, even you, Brian. You betrayed me. So you threw me on the bus. Spicy. Sweet and sour. Very nice.
Power belongs to no one until it is seized through sex and violence.
Everyone's so afraid of these men. Are you?
No. The government shipment is only days away.
Gentlemen, warriors, we'll see who's left standing and who's on their knees.